Got a couple new additions to my jazz collection. First up, on Bluebird Records, Duke Ellington, the Blanton Webster Band. I really like this label, Bluebird. Here is the logo right there, if you see that in the bins. It was an American jazz label. They put out jazz and blues and swing from the 30s and 40s. They were a subsidiary of RCA Victor. And this Ellington set from 39 to 42 is considered by most to be his peak period. This was a high water mark for Mr. Ellington, and he's got Johnny Hodges and Ben Webster on sax. And this is a 4 LP set. He was, I love Ellington's music, and I've got a ton of it. I've got this stuff on CD. This is the first time I'm getting this box set on vinyl. He was a prolific composer and innovative arranger, and had the ability to let his individual soloists really take the spotlight, still running a tight big band in service of the song. There is a sophisticated, subtle nuance to all Duke's music, and I think that, for me, what really sets him apart from the other big bands of the era. Also, I picked up on Bluebird Fatswaller and his rhythm. This was the last year's 40 to 43. He was a pianist, a vocalist, a composer. These were his final 63 recordings. Fats was a master of stride piano. Stride is where your left hand is playing bass and chords alternately, and then the right hand is playing melody and soloing. He was also a prolific songwriter, wrote a ton of songs, and he was one of the first guys who had this ability to mix humor and music together seamlessly and make it work, and it became his signature style. He died at the age of 39 from complications of pneumonia, and I think a lot of whiskey for breakfast. You can't keep that up forever. Anyway, Fatswaller's like pizza to me. It's like, who doesn't like pizza? Who doesn't like Fatswaller? It's party music. If you're not familiar with it, check it out. It's a great time. And like I said, the Bluebird stuff, I look for it when I see it in the bins, and it's always dirt cheap. And I got all these Fatswaller collections, which I think this is the complete Fatswaller when all is said and done, right there. And also Artie Shaw, another great big band. If you see these in the bins, they're probably only $3 or $4 a piece. And the only downside is every once in a while there's some vocal numbers on these, but other than that, the music is fantastic. And another one, Benny Goodman, you'll see on Bluebird in the bins. I think this is like 8 different volumes that comes to the complete Benny Goodman. And if you're wondering, like, oh, Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, do I really want to go there? Well, really quickly, Glenn Miller is not cool. Benny Goodman is cool and hip. That's the big difference. On to Black Sugar. This is a funky Latin rock band from Peru. This album came out in 1971. There's lots of percussion, brass, funky guitar. It's got a psychedelic, jazzy feel. They only put out 2 records. This one was their first, and there was one in 73. And, you know, I think that if you like collecting funk records and you've got the basics covered, you've got your James Brown, of course, and Sly and Family Stone, you've got your George Clinton, Funkadelic and Parliament. It's nice to kind of branch out and look for smaller bands, you know, who only put out a couple records, who are from other countries, like this. Give it a listen online, Black Sugar. You know, and another band that just came to mind when talking about this, Lafayette Afro Rock Band. They only put out 2 records. From Long Island, relocated to Paris right away, put out 2 records. Fantastic funk records. You can't just live on James Brown alone. And finally, another funky record, The Revenge of Mr. Napoji, original soundtrack album. This is a soundtrack that was recorded in 1994 to a movie that was never made, so it's an imaginary soundtrack. It is, the album's filled with short, hard funk instrumentals and heavy James Brown influence. It came out a little before Desco Records. Desco was a New York funk and soul label founded in 1996, and it was founded by Gabriel Roth and Philip Lehman, and it went out of business in 2000. Gabriel Roth split and formed Daptone. Lehman split and formed Soulfire Records. Soulfire only lasted, I think, 3 years. Daptone went on to great success with Sharon Jones, Charles Bradley, Budo's band. I think Lee Fields, who was on Desco, did some stuff for Daptone. So this album came out just before Desco's start, I think. And the band, Mike Johnson and the Soul Providers, backed Lee Fields on a few records, and they were the house band for Desco. The house band for Daptone was the Dap Kings, and I have a feeling that some of the same guys in Soul Providers were in the Dap Kings as well. I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up, or you can. That's it.